And one other thing before we get a little bit more modern, one other thing we want to talk about is distribution. And
Yeah.
yeah, I had a conversation last week with Jeffrey Moore. I'm sure you know who Jeffrey Moore is, author of Crossing the Chasm, Inside the Tornado, and he is a technology marketing expert for many, many years. And I asked him the question whether the big distribution players and then the big reseller players, a la CDW or similar, at some point, do they get so much the same that they either turn into the same thing or fuse together? He didn't think that would ever happen. What's your take on what's going on with distribution? How's distribution changing? How's distribution modernizing their value proposition for the channel today?
You know, it's a big question. A lot of channel leaders are asking about distribution, but mostly because they think it's obsolete. They see it as an unnecessary cost. So if you look at the current state of most technology products, if you particularly in hardware products, there's not a lot of cost left in components or in the development cycles that they can take out to either inflate or to maintain their profit margins. So the only place that cost is left, this is what a lot of companies are talking to us about. The only place that cost is left that they can reduce is in the go-to-market chain. And where is the most likely target besides partners to take out cost at? It's in distribution. So there's a disconnect. Well, I want to say I'm getting ahead of myself. That's at least where a lot of vendors are looking at, is that distribution is becoming more of a tax than a benefit. Now, distributors are not are aware of this. The distributors know that the market is changing, that the technology and the technology consumption models are changing. So therefore, they've been changing. They've been changing for years. Many distributors have adopted new capabilities, particularly in terms of service delivery, service management, billing capabilities, or billing administration on behalf of the partners. They've developed significant technology benches to help augment and facilitate professional services. So distributors themselves have already evolved into being able to play and act and add value in the digitally transformed landscape. Now, here's the problem, is that they still have to perform their legacy function, which is that pick, pack, and ship of products. They still have, some of these new functions are still in development. They don't have a huge critical mass, but distributors themselves aren't doing themselves favors, because even as they've evolved their capabilities, the punchline in the conversations with their vendors remain the same, which is, okay, we have these programs. We want you to invest in these activities. We want you to support this department or this initiative. So they really haven't changed the punctuation of their conversation. It still very much sounds the same to the vendors, and that's one of the places where they have to work on it. Our forecast, we have a long range forecast of what the channel is going to look like in 2030, which seems like a long ways off, but trust me, I've been in this, as I said, George, been in the business now for 16 years. It feels like a lifetime. It comes very quickly, and we are predicting that distribution is going to go in three directions. So one is that we believe that we'll start seeing the first splits of distribution, their clouds and services divisions being spun off somewhere within the next 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And then over the next 10 years, we expect to see them split again to have their professional services arm spin off to look more like systems integrators. And that would then leave the remnants of the traditional distributor into a smaller business. So we do see distribution evolving, but we also see distribution splitting off into different directions over the next decade.